How to start your Monday morning. Start the fire, boil the water, grind the coffee, add filter, coffee in the filter, water into filter, watch it drip, more water, watch it drip some more, fill your cup, raise your cup, and no. Leave the house and leave it up to the professionals to make the coffee. I'll stick to the conversations. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, Season 2, and a lot going on. Let me just tell you, obviously, we are in a new location. Think of this as my living room. And it is just so exciting to be back. A new month, of course. Terry was just mentioning daylight saving time. Of course, anyone changed their watch. My stove still says like 6 o'clock. It's not even near right. so there's that.
Is it still blinking?
It is still blinking.
Yeah, nice.
so there's that. I do want to take a minute and to acknowledge some stuff that's been going on. I'm so grateful for everybody on social media. I had posted that my ex-husband Greg had surgery. And he's doing great, so that's good. But the kids were having a hard adjustment, and it was just it was a lot. It was kind of chaotic. So everyone is in their assigned seating today, so I'm happy to report that. And funny story real quick, Carson, we've talked about how he dresses with his suits and everything. For his birthday, he wanted a top hat. And I kid you not, this kid asked my dad to get him a top hat for his birthday. It came in this huge Amazon box and he pulled it out and I wish I had a picture of it. It is the funniest thing, but he wore it in the car last week and he hit his head and he's like, "Oh, do you think that happened to Abraham Lincoln?" And I'm like, probably not, but okay. So then yesterday they come back, Greg, they came in so he could get his top hat to go to Kohl's, I guess. And Daisy was just terrified. And she kept looking at me saying, "Please, Mom, please tell him to take that off." And I'm like, you know what? Just let him go.
Yeah.
Just let him go, man, right? Just if he wants to walk into Kohl's wearing a top hat, more power to him, right? So
does he look proper and dapper?
Oh, yes. Very dapper, very proper, although he's wearing tennis shoes with his top hat. So I don't know. I would have loved to have been in Kohl's.
That would have been amazing.
When he walked in. So obviously we are in a new location and I want to say a big thank you to Imagine Theaters, the Palladium, Paul Glantz, obviously, Jordan, Kyle, Marcy, their entire staff. They've been amazing. But we switched it up this month for a little bit of a change because I was like, a lot of people were saying to me, be more casual.
Ooh.
I know, right? So I don't think it gets more casual than a leather coat on a couch, right?
You do. You kind of got that motorcycle mama
I know,
look,
right? I'm buying a bike after this. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I guess we should get into introductions. And this is Terry Bean. Terry Bean, you have 21,000 followers on LinkedIn. I don't even know how anyone achieves that.
I don't know how I did.
I looked at it last night. I'm like, 21,000? I thought I was rocking it at 1,000.
If you average it out, it's just 1,000 a year. I've been on LinkedIn basically since its inception. I started back in 2004.
Oh, God.
So people didn't even know LinkedIn existed back then.
They're like, is that a dating app?
Does that make you feel better?
It does.
It
does, yes.
I've been there a long time.
Yes, you have. Okay, so what is your official title?
Managing Director is my official title on my paperwork. But I go by Keynote Speaker and Growth Coach.
All right, and that is why you are on today.
That's right. That's how I identify.
Yes, that's how. So, growth coach. And as we know, people go through different periods of their lives, right, where change is necessary. Sometimes it's forced. Sometimes you just embrace it. And I don't know, we do have, I'm happy to report, we do have a live audience here.
We do.
So that is one thing that has not changed. So I'm just going to ask a quick question. Who embraces change here? Okay. Who dreads change? That would be me.
That was a great idea to clap as
Right?
opposed to raise his hand
Thank
because
you,
the
Jake.
audience,
Thank
well
you.
done.
Yeah. So they proof that they're here.
Yeah, I love that.
I need them all to hold up a newspaper with the date, right? Like the hostage situation. Okay, so obviously, growth is painful.
Can be.
It can be, and change can be painful. We were on the phone the other day, and I said something about validation, looking for validation in all the wrong places.
That was a great line.
Thank you.
It sounded like a country song.
It did, didn't it?
It really had a vibe to it. Yeah.
Thank you. So, okay, so where do we start with this?
Where do we start? Well, listen, change only happens once you truly desire to make the change. And it gets so much easier when you recognize the need for it. Simon Sinek did a talk years ago called Start with Why.
Mhm.
And when you line your whys to the change you want to make, it allows that to go so much smoother. Most people change because either, some catastrophic thing happened, they lost a job, they lost a loved one, they lost,
They're forced,
yeah,
right?
they
It's
lost
forced
their
change,
mobility,
right?
right? Those changes are painful regardless. But to those everyday changes, when we recognize that we're in a pattern, we're doing the same thing over and over again, we feel stuck, we get to make that change instantly. The reality is, it all starts right here in our mind, and we have to envision a different future or a different present for ourselves.
So are you talking about like vision boards?
Vision boards are certainly a great part of it.
I
Affirmations are a great part of it.
Okay, so it's funny. I've always wanted to do a vision board.
Okay, but
Never done it.
haven't done it yet.
You knew that.
Uh,
Like affirmations, right? So you know that people write them on their mirror or they keep them on post-it notes, and it's changing your mindset.
it's 100%. It's reprogramming our subconscious mind, is what it's really doing. Right? Because our subconscious mind, we have this thing that's called the reticular activating system. I don't want to get totally nerdy with you
Okay,
all,
please.
but there's this screen door
Mhm.
between our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, because our conscious mind processes around the number of 40,000 thoughts per day. Our subconscious is in the billions per day,
Really?
right? The amount of stuff that we block out nonstop is incredible. Otherwise, we just collapse,
Mhm.
right? So, this reticular activating system is the screen that allows things from your subconscious mind to get into your conscious mind. It's the same reason when you buy a new car,
Mhm.
you see that car everywhere. It's
Yeah, what is
because,
up with
yep,
that?
it's exactly it though, because all of a sudden, your subconscious mind says, well, this is obviously important, so I'm going to show them all the instances of it.
Really?
Whereas before you had no
No
knowledge of
idea,
it. Yeah.
right?
But it's now important, so you see it.
That is so funny because I got a new car. Well, it's been a couple months now, but Daisy just the other day said, "Oh, look, there's our car. There's another of our car." There, all of a sudden, she's like, "I don't remember seeing all these cars that look like ours."
Yeah. And they were always there.
Wow,
They were
that's kind of
always there.
crazy.
But it
And they're
wasn't
always the
important.
same color.
Yeah,
And
right.
I
Of
always walk to
course.
the wrong one in the parking structure.
Do you just start
I
hitting the
do.
panic
Yes.
button so you know which one to
So,
go to?
yes, exactly.
Pop
So,
the trunk.
yes. Funny story. So years ago, my mom's here, so I can tell this. So I used to live about 2 blocks away from our elementary school, my elementary school, and they had one of those horrible Hornets. Do you know what the car I'm talking? It was like a
Oh,
station
yeah.
wagon,
The
yellow,
AMC.
wood paneling. It was so horrible looking. And I mean, I walked to school and back. And one day it was raining and there was a Hornet parked outside. And I thought, oh, so sweet. My mom and dad picked me up from school. I get in the car. The guy looks at me and I'm like, you are not my dad. So I was like, what are the chances that there were 2 of those ugly cars? But see, it goes back to what you were saying.
It's exactly it.
It-
And you were so comfortable
I
with
was,
it that
right?
you
I
just
hop
walked
into the
right in.
Hornet.
He didn't even ask for candy or anything. You were hopping right in.
Or a puppy.
That's amazing.
Okay, so back on track. With changing things, and some people have a hard time accepting change. I mean, especially if it's forced.
Yeah.
But when you kind of feel like you need it, I guess that's when you finally embrace it.
And the reality is we can change in an instant. Who we are right now is only a reflection of who we've been up until this moment. If you want to be somebody different,
Mhm.
right, make the decision. And the word decide at its root
Mhm.
means to cut off.
Really?
Right? Yep. That's exactly where it comes from. So cut off any other possibility
Mhm.
and become that person. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of time for that reflection to change.
And habits to
Right?
change, right?
And for people to notice,
Right.
right? So we have to change our behavior, which is directly tied to our choices,
Okay.
right?
I feel like I need a piece of paper to write this down.
You're recording. We're going to be
We're
okay.
gonna be
You
okay.
can see it again.
Exactly.
And once your behavior and your choices change,
Mhm.
you start to develop different habits.
How long does that take? You hear 30 days, 60 days, 5 years.
So the science says, depending on the difficulty of the habit that you're trying to break and replace, anywhere from 3 weeks, 21 days,
Okay.
to 180 days.
Oh.
right? So easy habits
Hmm.
are a 3-week timeline.
Okay, so give me an example of an easy habit.
An easy habit,
Like not drinking coffee anymore?
right? An easy habit might be portion control at a meal,
Okay.
right? An easy habit might be stretching in the morning. An easy habit might be reviewing your affirmations
Hmm.
in the day, right?
Hmm.
Journaling is an easy habit to create, right? Quitting things that you've done for way too long, losing weight is an example of something that's a little more difficult.
Right.
Taking all the weeds out of our mind and replacing them with beautiful flowers and a lovely garden takes a little longer.
Do you like my shamrocks, by the way?
It's so fitting. It's so seasonal.
See?
Well, and you said it's like your living room, and I was wondering if those actually
This is not
came
like my living
from the
room.
living room.
My mom's shaking her head. This is not like
This
her
is
living
nothing
room.
like the
This
living
is
room.
not like
This
it
is
at all.
not. So no shamrocks
No
in the Brooke
shamrocks.
Allen household?
Nope.
Not
No
yet.
shamrocks. Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so let's switch it up a little bit and talk about relationships,
Okay.
because we've had a discussion before a couple times too, as far as transactional relationships.
Ooh, yeah.
I know you. I knew you were going to love talking about this.
Hmm.
Okay, so explain what that is.
So a transactional relationship is where you do something for somebody because you want something out of them, right? You're
But
going
doesn't
to.
everybody want something out of somebody?
It depends, and it's so want
Hmm.
and expect are probably the key words, right? So yeah, everybody wants to get something off of someone, but if you're only doing something because you expect something in return,
Hmm.
and then once they are no longer providing that something, you decide to cut that relationship off, that's exceedingly transactional.
Okay.
And it happens in business, and there are times when it's perfectly appropriate. If it's a one-time use product or service, a transactional relationship's what you expect,
Right, for sure.
right?
It's a
But if
business agreement,
it's a
or
business, yeah. I agree to give you money for this thing,
hmm.
we're good,
Okay,
right?
right,
We don't have to worry about it. But if you're trying to build like an actual long-term relationship, it really shouldn't be transactional. You should be trying to figure out how to give, add value, serve other people, and not with the expectation of one for one, right?
right.
It's like sometimes I've done 4 things for you
Hmm.
and you
There's a
haven't,
tally, right?
yeah, stop counting,
Right.
right?
Okay.
That's the key. Don't keep track of those things in long-term progressive relationships.
So okay, so what about failure?
Failures are
Failure in relationships, failure in business, failure in changes.
Failure is a tough one, right? And 15, 16 years ago, I was at a software development house in Ann Arbor called Menlo Innovations.
Hmm.
They write program. And it was early on, and they're a very innovative company, more than just in the name. And on the wall, it said, fail faster.
Hmm.
It was literally typed in like 36 font and on a piece of,
Really?
printer paper.
Hmm.
Nothing fancy, but fail faster. And I was like, what is that?
Right.
And they're like, we embrace failure here because failure is the only way to learn. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's like the needed step on a path to success. And so we've heard the acronym first attempt in learning.
Hmm.
And I love that. I really do. But I saw one the other day that I actually posted on LinkedIn to my 21,000 followers.
Show off.
Thanks for telling me that. I
You didn't
don't
know?
pay attention to that. No, no, no. But it stood for fall,
Hmm.
acknowledge, investigate,
Hmm.
learn, understand, realign, and evolve.
Wow.
And
I'd clap for you if I wasn't holding my coffee cup.
I really like that.
Come on, Jake, go ahead.
You were clapping just because I remembered it and didn't have to
I
look at my
was.
notes.
I was like, oh, I think that's what was on his note behind the shamrock.
I do have a note behind the shamrock. That's true. I find that if I write something down, it actually helps me remember it, right? Because we're creating a different pathway in our brain,
Right.
as opposed to just reading it.
Right.
So I had to write it, and I had to stick it here very subtly so you
Is
can
it?
point it
Let
out.
me see it now.
Yeah, it's exactly what it says. Don't make fun of my handwriting.
Okay.
I
You
did
know what?
not.
Okay, I'm going to keep that.
I did not attend like Catholic school where I would have gotten rapped on the wrist from a nun.
Right.
So I probably
So
needed
there's
some of
that.
that. Yeah, that would have been of value.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So in your career, and you, I mean, you're involved with TEDx Detroit. I mean, you do so much. In your career, how has failure affected you?
Failure for me is a stepping stone, right? And so
Was it
the
always like that though?
um I don't remember ever having an issue with it, right? I've
Really?
always been super adaptive to change.
Okay.
My life started off with change. I'm adopted, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
minute one was change,
Okay.
right? And adaptability. My parents got divorced when I was 4. So that was
Another
big
change.
change. I moved 3 states away when I was 11. That was a big change. And my mom tells the story of when I was about 1,
Mhm.
when I was learning to walk. She said that she would take my toys and move them 6 feet away.
Oh, so you would
So I would walk
walk
over
over.
there.
Yeah.
And she said, not you, you'd sit and play with your toes. So I'm
She's
like,
like, "Kid, I'm trying to
you're
entice you.
right.
Come on
And
now."
like, I didn't care. I'm
You're
like,
like,
I'm easy
"Whatever."
going. So change has always been just part of
Okay.
life, right? It's the one thing that is constant in
Mhm.
all of our lives. So the idea of not adapting to it always seemed kind of crazy to me, right? It's crazy making.
You make it sound so simple.
It's
I
well,
mean,
it's I'm a go with the flow kind of guy. Don't
okay.
get me wrong, I am a visionary that sees where he wants to go,
Mhm.
and there's always going to be obstacles. Ryan Holiday, who has really done a great job of revitalizing stoicism and
Mhm.
making it popular in the 21st century,
Right.
wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way, right? And
Mhm.
so when we really think
You're
about
looking at
what
me
that
like if I
means,
read that.
if I yeah, no,
I did
no,
not read that.
no, 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 I don't expect anybody read that? Anybody familiar with
Yeah.
Ryan Holiday's work? Okay.
No, that's a
So
big white book.
some of you are going to be Googling this
Yes.
today
I'm gonna
or
be
right
oh, Jake
now.
is doing it right
Jake's
now.
doing it. Um, to be fair, I think I read that, but I listened to the rest of his books on Spotify.
Okay.
So I've become a really big audiobook guy because one, I'm an auditory learner,
Mhm.
but two, I'm not stuck having to read. I
Right.
can be at the gym, I can be in the car. It's like turn your car into drive time university
Yep.
is such a good move.
It's so funny. So Erin, my favorite librarian, she's actually here today.
Very
And
nice.
she has, I mean, she's read, well, not read. I mean, she's listened to so many audiobooks. Her list is amazing.
I love
And
that.
March is reading month, so I felt like I needed to say
Yeah, very
that.
nice.
See?
And Aaron, the favorite librarian.
Yes.
I love that's poetic. It really is
Hi,
nice.
Erin.
It's fantastic.
So, okay, so you have always embraced change, always embraced failure.
Always embrace it.
Okay, so what about success?
Scared the shit out of
Yeah,
that,
see, I
right? That
thought.
frightens me to no end. No, success is success changes, right?
Hmm.
The challenge for most people is if you think about, man, when I get this, right? Whether it's that amount of money, that relationship,
There's always
that
something, right?
opportunity, we get there, but before we actually land there, we move the goalpost,
Oh, like
right?
the toy.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
Hmm.
We just keep moving it farther and farther. So we never really celebrate the wins along the way because we don't feel like we've arrived yet. And at some point, we have to change that,
Hmm.
right? We have to look at the little baby tiny wins,
Hmm.
whether it's you finally set that appointment, whether you had a great conversation, whether you met someone you really liked, and it's scientifically, it's harder for us to make friends as we age,
Right.
right? Harder to find people that align. But we have to look at all those things and like give a little self high five for the things that go well.
High
Or
five,
if you
man.
have someone near you, you can just high five them.
Yeah, I want everyone to high five each other.
Yeah, let's a little group high
That's
five. I love it. That's fantastic. That's
That
fantastic.
is awesome.
There's
That is
some
so
high five. Look what you started.
See, it's amazing.
It's so good.
Okay, so if you had one thing that you could say to somebody who was stuck, who wanted to change but just can't seem to get out of the mud,
Mhm.
what would you say?
I'd ask them why this change is important, and I'd ask them to list those reasons. And then I'd ask them to paint a picture of what that ideal state looks like.
Mhm.
And they don't have to paint, right? I
Right,
don't
you're
need
not
crayons.
yes,
You don't
right.
even have to draw it, but just write a story about what that ideal state looks like. And then the goal is to figure out what the gaps are between where you are and where you want to be, and then you can actually develop a plan to get around those obstacles, right? Oh,
Mhm.
I need to get 15 pounds lighter. okay, well, we know that exercise is important,
Hmm.
but we know that what you put in your face is even more important. So, what in your diet is messing with you, and how do you either reduce or eliminate those things? Right. And
Hmm.
then stick to that plan.
You just got to stick to it,
You
right? I mean,
have
you just
to.
have to.
It's persistence and consistency that really matter. But again, without that ideal state picture, that
Hmm.
why,
Right.
then, or well, that's more the what. Why this ideal state matters, right? Why getting here is important.
Hmm.
That's the driver that's going to keep you moving toward it.
So our next guest is Officer Jessica Reese. She is from the Royal Oak Police Department. They are doing this amazing youth academy
Oh, fun.
that is coming up this summer, and they just did the first one last summer. So she is here. So she's going to come on up and join us on the couch.
Very nice.
Welcome to my living room,
Thank you.
Jessica.
Thanks for
Jessica.
having me. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
It's great.
So thank you. Did you work overnights?
I did, but
Oh
that's
no!
okay.
Do you want my coffee?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm
so
a midnighter. Yes,
okay,
yeah.
well, thank you so much for coming,
course,
and of
thanks for
course,
having me.
yeah, and I think it is so cool what you've done, and I know that this academy, this youth academy, it was kind of your brainchild, right?
Yeah, it was kind of my little project that I kind of got going about a year and a half ago. And yeah, like you said, we had our first one last year. It was a complete success. I loved it. It was so much fun.
It is
Kids were
so
amazing.
so amazing
Yeah.
of everything you guys do. Okay, so this is happening in July.
Yes.
Okay, so July, you're taking 25 kids.
Yes, 25 to 30 is what we're going to try to aim for.
Okay.
Of course, we'd love to have more, but we are usually not equipped to deal with so many kids.
Right.
After the whole week, I gave all my props to teachers. I was like, I don't know how they do it. I have no
You're
idea.
like, what is
I was
happening?
I was like 1 week with 30 kids, but no, they were amazing. But yeah, about 20 to 30 kids. It's a week-long program from 8:30 in the morning to 3:30. We do all sorts of activities, teach them what it's like to be a police officer and some team building activities, integrity, respect, all that kind of fun stuff.
So my son has wanted to be a policeman since he was 2.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when he's not wearing a top hat, he wants to wear a badge, right? So there's that, and I really want him. He missed it last year, so I'm
Okay.
hoping that he gets in this year.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's
You
so.
have pull now.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
right?
right.
Now I'll be
Uh-huh.
like, so hey, Jessica, wondering.
We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
So the whole idea of these kids, I mean, what is your ideal kid that you want to come to this academy?
We definitely want someone who is very enthusiastic. Doesn't necessarily mean they want to be a police officer. Just kind of interested in learning
Mhm.
and
And they learn a bunch of stuff,
yes,
right?
yeah, we do a lot. We cram a lot into
Yeah,
into
so
those
give me some
5 days.
examples of what you guys do.
So, like I said, we do a lot of team building activities. So, teach them how to work together. We teach them about our canine officers. We teach them the awareness of drunk driving. So, it's kind of fun. They get to throw on some drunk goggles and drive
Oh,
around
yes,
a golf cart.
yeah.
I think that was a lot of the kids' favorite
Favorite thing.
activity that they get to do. Little things of we have like this big video game system, so teaching like firearm safety, kind of put them in like on a traffic stop, stuff like that. Detective skills, so
Oh, that's cool.
fingerprinting,
Fingerprinting, right?
yeah.
What about mug shots? Do they get mug shots?
We'll see, but
Hopefully not, right?
right. But yeah, we just want a kid who is just really enthusiastic and would really participate and just take full advantage of the week.
So last year, was it a majority of boys, girls? How was the mix?
We had a pretty good mix. I think we had 11 girls, so out of the 30.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad, yeah. So it was a good mixture, and it was really interesting because we tried to keep it kind of Royal Oak, but with the first year, we had some kids from all over the cities, and the first day, everyone was really nervous, and
I'm
from
sure.
all different schools. I think we had like 5 or 6 different schools.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
so a lot of people didn't know each other, and by lunch, we could not get them to stop talking. They were so excited. They all loved each other. They all became friends. But at the end of the
Really?
day, their parents are asking for play dates and things
Oh,
like that.
that is so. What's
it was
the
really
age, what's
cool.
the age range of
So
the
we
kids?
try to do around like 6th, 7th, 8th graders, that
Okay.
middle school. So right before high school, where they're still super excited and wanting to have fun. I think that's kind of a good age range where it's still appropriate, some of the topics and things like that.
For
We
sure.
don't want too young.
Mhm.
So I think that was the perfect group that we had. So right around there.
Okay, so they have to write an essay.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
pretty cool. I love this because you are asking them to put their thoughts down about
Right.
why they want to participate.
Yeah.
So what are those answers like?
We definitely had a variety. Some were very well thought out, like 2 pages. Some were just a quick snippet. And really, we're not looking for anything too particular. We don't want them to work too hard. This is
Okay.
supposed to be a fun activity. So
Right.
just a good paragraph or two of why they want to be part of this group and what got them interested and things like that. So,
Okay, and the biggest thing about this, which I think is amazing, it's free.
yes. Yeah.
It is, and I mean, you guys include lunch, snacks. I saw the cart go by.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the golf cart one time when I was in Royal Oak. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are they doing?
Yeah, we've had some phenomenal sponsors that have helped us out to enable us to do it free. And a lot of the Royal Oak businesses and restaurants here have provided the lunches. So we've been super lucky that they've been able to supply pretty much everything we need. We give them t-shirts, kind of a little uniform to wear
Right.
throughout the week, which is fun.
Are there
And
badges?
we got little mini badges. If you graduate, you get a challenge coin, which is kind of
Oh,
cool.
challenge coins are
Everyone-
awesome.
Yes,
Yep.
everyone likes the
Yep.
challenge
Everyone
coin,
loves
so,
those.
yeah.
Well,
it's
thank
been
you. Okay,
awesome.
so how do kids apply to this?
So there's a couple different ways. We are going to be actually today, we're going out to our middle school today. And so we'll be out handing out flyers. If not, you can always come into our station too and grab a flyer if you'd like to. We're right on 11 Mile. Also, there will be a flyer on our website as well.
Okay, so
a couple
what
different
is the
ways.
deadline?
Deadline, we're looking at April-ish. I believe there's an exact date on there, but we're super flexible. Like we said, if we get a late applicant who just thought of it, like
Mhm.
we're not going to be too picky. We just want to include as many people as we can.
You're not going to throw them in the slammer?
No.
Lock them up.
No, we're super flexible and we just want to have fun. Like I said, I had a blast. I was exhausted by
Right?
I said 12-hour shift.
You'd
It's
rather do
nothing.
midnights?
It's nothing compared to 8 hours with these kids because they're just so energetic and so much fun.
That is
But yeah,
so
we had a
awesome.
blast with that.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been an officer?
I've been an officer for 5.5 years here at
Okay.
Royal Oak.
And what made you become an officer?
I just kind of couldn't picture myself doing anything like anything else besides
Really?
this. It's fun. It's exciting. I like the every single day is different.
Mhm.
You never know what the day's gonna bring. So I like the variety. Just waking up and you have no idea what your day is gonna hold, and getting to meet new people. And obviously the helping people out is amazing. That's kind of always the cliche answer,
Right.
but it is true. It's always good to put a smile on people's faces.
And have you always been in Royal Oak?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, I
awesome.
have.
Very cool. Go ahead, Terry.
If Brooke's son wanted to be a cop since he was 2,
Yeah.
Mhm.
how long do you recall wanting to be serving?
So I would say it probably started me more so a little bit later in high school. I think a
Oh.
lot of people are like that. I wanted to be a police officer since I was a little kid, but for me, it was kind of more high school. My grandpa was a Detroit police officer,
Hmm.
and so that kind of started my interest in getting into high school and kind of learning about investigations and crime scene stuff. And then that just kind of piqued my interest. I was like, this is fun. I like being active. So
How
this
would
is
the
perfect.
program that you're putting on
Mhm.
have helped you make that decision back then?
I would have loved it. I think it would have solidified it right then and there in middle school for me, just because this program you get to see every nook and cranny of being a police officer, and not just all the fun, exciting stuff. Sometimes we show them a little bit of the other side of things, and some of the not so exciting. We're not always chasing bad guys. We're not always running down people and things like that. They get to see the whole spectrum of what being a police officer holds. So.
Did any of the kids from last year's academy say, "Oh, I think I want to do this now"?
Oh, yes.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah, we had a couple who were like, oh, maybe not police, but maybe a dispatcher or something like
Those
that.
are just
So-
as important,
oh, yeah,
right?
We need
Dispatch-
them,
yes,
but
I don't know
think,
how dispatchers do it.
yeah, they're like, I don't know if I want to drive 100 miles an hour, but I think I would still want to be in this world. So
Right.
it was kind of cool that they got to see, a lot of just the different aspects, and that there's a lot of things that takes to do this job.
That is very cool. Okay, so if you had one thing to say to an aspiring police officer, what would it be?
It would just be to work hard, and if there's something that you want to do and something that you want to be, you can do it if you put your mind to it and give it 100%.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having
Yes,
me.
thank you. So, okay, so we're going to let her go because she's been up for
Yeah.
how long? I didn't even know.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
So that is Officer Jessica Reese,
Thank
and
you
with
so
the Royal
much.
Oak Police Department. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for getting my kid in that academy. No,
Yes.
just kidding.
Oh, we'll see him. We'll see you this summer. It'll be a blast.
And I just want to say thank you for all you guys do, and of course Sergeant Spangler,
Yeah.
Ryan. I've worked with him with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mm.
Those drunk goggles.
Yes.
Know him well. I actually drove one of the police cars at some point years ago, and it was just amazing the difference and what it really shows you. And I
Yeah.
think kids appreciate that
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank
We will
you.
have that posted. The website that people can find the application.
Royal Oak Police Department.
Simple.
The city website.
The city
yeah,
website.
city
Okay,
website.
perfect. All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Again, that is Officer Jessica Reese. And we are going to take a quick break. We will be back. And Terry, you're staying with me.
I'll stay right here.
You stay right there. Don't move. All right. Coming back. I need a cup of coffee.
Hey, has this been your podcast studio experience? Has the location been less than favorable?
No, I can't do this.
Come to Every Media, where quality matters, located in Royal Oak, Michigan. Visit every.media.
Welcome back to the Every
That's
Woman Show.
EVRY.media.
Here at Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, we have so much fun. But not only fun, there's networking, and there have been 12 collaborations that have happened from people who have actually been networking at the show. So whether you're a potential guest and you have a topic you really want to talk about, or a potential sponsor, and just a quick word about that. Our sponsorships, we look at them as partnerships and collaborations, and we have so much fun, and we have so much coffee, as you can imagine. You can DM me on social media, or you can reach out at hello@brookeallencommunications.com. We'll see you soon. Hey, welcome back to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I had to get a cup of coffee, so sorry about that break. A big thank you again to Officer Jessica Reese and that Youth Police Academy. I think it's going to be just amazing. And it is the perfect segue for our Caffeinated Act of Kindness this month because I'm with Yvette. And Yvette, tell me the name of the nonprofit you started.
Called Shine a Car for the Paws.
And it is about canines.
Yes, we help police canines. We supplement any supplies that are needed, vital training equipment, anything they need.
And why did you start this?
Well, my husband and I have been traveling to Georgia and Florida and supporting their canine officers and doing everything and going to their fundraisers and just enjoying that. And we came up here in Michigan and said, what can we do for that? I was a police dispatcher for Fraser and Sterling Heights Police matron. My dad was a Centerline Reserve, and then my husband's uncle was for Highland Park. So we've been a lot into the police business. And we wanted to come back and give back to the community.
So what's interesting is that people don't understand or don't realize what it is to have a canine.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of think the departments take care of the canines, and that's really not the case.
No. A lot of it is they give you the canine, they'll probably give you food and sometimes veterinarian bills, but everything else has to come out of the officer's pocket. A good portion of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the officers are self-funded. They have to buy their training supplies, even the tugs or reward toys.
Mhm.
They go through those every couple months because they're training with them. That is all out of the officer's pocket because they do have a budget, but that's covering the canine and the vet or the vet bills, the food. And that canine goes home with the officer.
I was just going to say, I mean,
24/7.
they're
Yes,
together.
they're together and they get called out whenever's needed. I mean, there's calls and they cross county lines, they cross city lines. Troy's out helping Shelby Township in need because there's no dog right there available at that time.
How
So
many
they're everywhere.
canines are there? Do you know offhand?
Well, there's a lot right now. I
Uh-huh.
mean, just in last year, we helped 50 canines within 26 departments.
Really?
Yeah, we gave out $17,000 worth of equipment.
That is
So
amazing.
yes,
And
it's fun.
what a blessing to these officers and also the departments because canine officers, I mean, they're needed.
Yes, they are, and they train constantly with these dogs. They each week they get together, different departments. They train together because just in case something happens too, each officer has to know how to handle the other officer's dog too, just in case that officer goes down or something happens or a car accident happens.
Mhm.
They have to know how to help that work with that other officer's dog.
So they're kind of interchangeable. I mean, they
Mm.
have to jump into any situation.
Yes, they do.
And with any partner.
With any partner.
Okay.
Yes, because not any person off the street can come and
No.
handle that dog.
Mm.
So
Is there a common set of commands amongst these?
they do speak different languages
Okay.
to them. So yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes. So they
Wow.
know which ones are
Sit.
doing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because otherwise, if there
No,
was, right,
right.
Right.
we could go in and command
No,
the
no,
canine.
they
That's
do.
probably not a thing.
No.
Yeah, they do speak different languages. And they
Okay.
all speak them together, and
Wow.
they help each other out with them.
Terry and I are going to go
So-
train a canine now.
I can't wait. German Shepherds are like the coolest dogs.
Well, there's German Shepherds, but then they're going to males.
Okay.
Malinois.
Why? I heard you say something about that. Are they a different, obviously a different breed? Are they
They're
smarter?
they're just as smart as German. But it depends on the officer's preference and how they want to work with them. And a lot these dogs are from a different country. They're from Germany. They're from Poland. They're from Czechoslovakia. They're from all over the place because they breed working dogs. Okay, the
Oh.
dogs that are bred here are not really working dogs.
No.
We breed
They're
lazy
They're kind of
dogs.
foo-foo
Yeah.
dogs, right?
Couch
Oh my
hippos.
gosh,
Yeah.
right?
But the people will buy dogs like that, normal people, and then they'll throw them into the shelters because they can't handle them.
Right.
So there's officers that will go and get those dogs from the shelters and rescue them, and train them to be canine dogs.
What?
Which is good.
How long is the training process for a canine?
Usually they'll come over here at about a year, something close to a year,
Mhm.
and then the officer will go and pick them, and then they'll go to the police academy, which is a 5-week police academy, but they're training every week, all the time.
Right.
There's never enough training because they always have to be working with them and everything like that.
They have downtime too, though, right?
They have downtime, yeah, when they're home with
Right.
their family.
They can be like a
yes.
regular dog.
Well, they do. They go home with their regular family, and their kids are there,
Mhm.
and their wife or fiance or other partners. They're there, and they learn the commands too with the dogs.
I'm
So
sure.
it's a family dog for them too,
Oh,
working with them.
wow.
It
That's
is
pretty cool.
That's
so,
wild.
So that's the thing. It becomes, some of them, are in their cage. Some of them come out during the time frame, but it becomes part of their family dog. And when that canine has to retire, it goes home with that officer and retires with that officer because they last about 7 to 8 years
On the job.
on the job.
Okay, so
And then they go home and become a real dog.
oh, I love that.
Mhm.
Like the Velveteen Rabbit.
Yeah.
It's a real rabbit.
Yes, they get
Okay,
loved.
so how long have you been doing this nonprofit?
We started it, I retired my business the end of 23, and then we started that up and going. So it's a little bit over a year.
Okay, so a little bit over a year.
Yes.
And I see you all over social media and all the good work you guys are doing. And I see a canine in there. What's
Yes.
that?
Well, this one I got for you. This one I
Aw.
brought for you. This is one of the
Thank you.
little things that we sell. We go around to pop-up events. We sell our swag.
Okay.
What all the profit goes to the canine officers. My husband and I are total volunteer. Everything we do, we sell. We go to the officers. But this
He's
one I
so
brought for
cute.
you.
Thank you.
That's one of the
Fantastic.
ones
Thank
that
you
we
so
sell.
much.
So yep. So that's. But this is a bag that we give to a lot of the officers that graduate from the from the canine academy.
Oh, okay,
This
like a
bag
starter
alone-
pack.
Right. This bag alone is about $125 with the equipment in it. Like a buddy bowl. This is called a buddy bowl, and it's in their kennel or in their car. It's a spill-proof bowl.
Oh,
So
that's
if they
cool.
knock it around and everything like that.
So
it's
how
a
much?
spill-proof,
How much
but
is that by itself?
This is like $35, $40.
Okay.
So
So is an officer does the department pay for the
No.
initial? No.
this is all the things that we get for the officers because
Okay.
this will have to all go. They're given the dog
Right.
and the car, and then all the other supplies are right. And then the tug. These are what are called reward toys, because it's all a game for them.
Right.
It's all fun games, be it finding the missing child or the elderly person or getting the bad guy off the street, getting the drugs. Once they get it, they're throwing the reward toys. Okay, this is what they're throwing, and it's
Wow.
all a game. It's all fun and games for them when it comes down to it. But they go through these within 3 months.
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
they're chewing on them and everything like
So
that.
how much are these?
Well, this is about $12,
Okay.
and these are about $15, $20 depending on
Right.
depending on if they want a two
Can I feel that? Yeah.
size. Yeah. So, and then the balls.
Right.
So,
So after they catch a bad guy, they're like, here you go.
yep,
This you win.
You'll see it. They'll throw it against the car.
Really?
They'll throw it against the sidewalk, and then the dog will pick it up and okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Or
that
if
is
you'll see the
awesome.
canines running around, they'll have this ball in their mouth, and the officer will be walking with them just to
Okay.
keep them calm and
Right.
that.
Wow, that is so awesome.
And then these are the leashes. They have different leashes too for what they do, be it tracking or looking for drugs or in whatever leash, collar, harness they put on. shows them what the dog's going to do. If he knows he's putting on a certain collar, he knows he's going for a drug sniff. If he
Ah.
knows he's putting on a certain collar, he's going for a tracking.
So they're like
so-
dressing
Mhm.
for whatever their
Wow.
job.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dress for the job
Yeah,
you
and
the
want.
size
Right,
of it.
exactly.
Right. So these leashes, these are made by a company that we deal with, a Michigan-made company, 2 dogs, and the officers love. So we try to talk to the officers and see
What they like.
what they need, what they want, because we don't want to get them,
Right.
just anything.
Right, for
So
sure.
yeah, like this is like $25, and this is these leashes anywhere range from $45 to $50.
Okay.
How long is
So
that? That looks
Yeah,
like
that
it's
looks
got
This
some
really
is
like
this is
long.
a 30,
30 foot.
and this is a 60. This is a 6
Let's
foot.
open it up and see. No.
6 foot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is a 6 foot.
I don't think
so,
we believe you. Can we
so,
just stretch
yeah,
it across the
so-
studio?
That's
We'll
what.
just
So yeah.
catch it over there.
So yeah. So this is. I mean, so we
So
try
this
to
is
give
what
them.
this is what you guys do.
Mm-hmm. Like today, after my husband gets off work, we're going to Highland Park.
Mhm.
We're giving them a scent kit boxes, 5 boxes, so they can train their dogs into drugs or even bomb sniffing. So this officer needed it, so we worked with another officer. He helped build the kits,
Mhm.
and then we're going to drop that off along with another buddy bag for them.
Okay,
So-
that is amazing what you guys are doing,
So
and
cool.
you are going to Vegas soon, aren't you?
We're leaving tomorrow.
So
Tomorrow we're
jealous.
going to Vegas to go to a canine conference to learn more about the canines, what's needed,
Mhm.
how we can help them out more. There's about 300 officers coming from all over the United States. Training. We're going to go to training classes, learn about their medical, because we even want to get some medical bags for them too,
Okay.
and see what's needed.
So what would, if they get hurt, or what would a medical
Well,
bag?
a medical bag, yes, is when they're on doing a track or get shot or something
Okay.
like that, so they can help out with that.
Okay.
Is hopefully get the dog to the vet prior to anything else happening, or if something happens with bloat, because a lot of times the bigger dogs, the stomachs will flip,
Mhm.
and they're out in the field. They have to learn how to do something so they can get that dog to the vet before it passes away.
Before it, okay,
Mhm.
because
So,
that's super dangerous.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
How do the dogs know when to turn it on or turn it off based on it? Because you're saying
Mhm.
this dog works all day, does his canine duty, and then is like the family dog.
hmm
Then there's like a
Well, when
switch.
they go, yep, because also the collars that they're wearing or the harnesses,
Yeah.
because we've bought a couple tracking harnesses, the harnesses that they put on, they know. Or if their dad or mom is getting dressed, ready for work,
Right.
they know that they're going.
This is
But
job
Wow.
time.
once they get home, they get everything taken off, and it's like, mhm. So.
That is amazing.
It
Yes.
really is.
And the thing is that we go to training with the officers, and we know that we can pet them and love on them until it's training time.
Right.
And once they're trained and ramped up,
Yeah. No.
after that, it's dog out. You back against the wall and let the dog go out, because you don't want nothing to do with the dog at that point.
Well, so that's what's interesting too, is when you see a dog wearing a vest. You know it's a working dog, and I know canines are so impressive. Right? They're beautiful and they're big, and they're you just see them and you're like, oh, here, you want to salute them.
Right.
But how do you teach kids, to kind of, and other people
Respect.
to respect them?
You always have to go up and ask the officer, can I pet your dog?
Mhm.
Is it okay if I pet your canine? I mean, because you always have to talk to that officer first. I always ask them. And a lot of some of the vests will have do not pet.
Oh, okay.
They will have crossed on that, some of them. But the canine officers want to have a community rapport also. These dogs are a bridge between the community and the officers. So they are good to be out there petting the dogs and everything like that. But we always encourage anybody, even an adult, can I pet your dog? And the respect that officer, they love that.
Right.
Because they enjoy that.
I saw a canine a couple weeks ago walking, and it was more adults that were asking if they could pet the canine than kids. And I thought that was kind of interesting,
Yeah,
because maybe kids are more afraid.
right.
Right.
Right. Yes. And that's the one thing you should do. And the police officer will love for you to pet as long as it's not working or anything, and that
Right.
it has to be out and about. Just ask them, can I pet your dog? Can I pet your canine? And if you see an officer with, officer, go up and thank them. Thank them
Yes.
for what they do.
Because
Um,
now
that's
we
the
know
only
they do
thing.
so much more.
Yes, they do.
Right?
So
I mean,
I
I
mean,
had no idea.
Because they have the car with them. They have to stop with anything and everything every day. They're there 24/7. And that's why we've decided to do what we want to do with these officers and help them out. And to hear that even some of the medical is not covered, especially when the officers retire,
Yeah.
the canines retire, the medical's not covered. And that's why certain organizations have started stuff for
I'm
that
getting
too.
the teacher vibe, right?
And
When
that's what I
Yes.
equated.
it's
That's
so
exactly
silly.
that's what I equated to, and that's how I try to talk to people about that too. It's like a teacher.
Yeah.
They are paying so much out-of-pocket expenses.
Yes.
And some of these are single dad, just like all of us. They're trying to cope and put this out there and help these dogs get everything that they need.
And
I
they're
mean,
such impressive animals.
oh,
You're like you said, like you see them and you're like,
Yeah,
you
you're
want to, you
you're
want to
like, "Whoa."
salute.
you do.
It's so
So you
sad.
have a bowling event
Yes.
coming up.
Yep. We have a April 12th at Bowl 1 in Troy.
Okay.
It's a canine fundraiser. And then we're starting to also have a couple more events that we're targeting now. We're buying a dog for Shelby Township, but now we want to buy
That's where my mom
another
lives.
dog.
She'll have a canine dog in her
Yeah.
area.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay, great.
Exactly.
So we want to also now start building some more funds to purchase another dog. And dog's about $10,000.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
the academy's 5,000.
Wow.
And then the vest alone is anywhere from 1,300 to 3,000, depending on what type of vest they
So
want.
the vest
and
they wear
everything.
every day.
The
the
ballistic
canine, yeah.
vest. Yep.
Okay.
The
Would it
bulletproof
match
vest.
a top hat? The vest?
Oh, that would look good. I'd love it.
that?
Oh,
Yes,
maybe
with
we
the
get
bow
Carson.
ties.
Yeah, that would
The
be
bow
so
ties.
Oh, don't even
slick.
get me going on bow ties. You have no idea.
You could do everything with that. That would be great.
Okay, so how can we help you? How can people help you and help these officers?
You can go. We have our Facebook page. Shine a car for the paws. We have a website forthepaws.org. And also, if you want to come bowl.
I was just going to say,
yes,
how can we go
please.
bowling?
Oh yeah, and we're going to have possibly one, possibly two Warren canines there.
Oh.
We've been very supportive with the Warren
Mhm.
canines, helping them out too. I mean, like I said, just as many canines as we've tried. So there's possibly two Warren canines coming to our event.
Really?
Yes. So you can
That's
come
super
and
cool.
see them, pet them, enjoy
Okay.
them. So we're helping that too. So
That is so amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so real quick on the nonprofit side of this.
yes,
Starting a nonprofit is a tough thing.
yes, it is.
So how have you navigated that?
Well, we had some help with, of course, a lawyer that helped us out, and it just following the rules, getting
Okay.
all the paperwork in, and
Mhm.
keeping up with it. But it's well worth it. Oh goodness, we didn't have many hurdles to go to.
Mhm.
We just had to make sure all the paperwork was in correctly and everything,
Okay.
and explain what we did and why we're doing it. And it's well worth it. It's anybody who wants to start and we're 501c3, so it's a tax exempt. So like I said, all of the funds go directly to the officers, and the nonprofit is well worth it. So
What a
yes.
great cause.
Yeah,
You're
I-
serving those who serve us, and most importantly, like just the coolest species on the planet. Dogs are awesome.
They are. I mean,
Dogs
they
are
are.
You don't have a cat?
I do not have a cat. I'm not anti-cats anymore, but yeah, I'm a
Um,
dog guy.
Give me the website.
Yes. Forthepaws.org.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's been something circulating, and since you are the only two guests left,
Uh-huh.
there's been something circulating on social media, and it is called Having Coffee with My Younger Self.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so I want to ask both of you if you could meet your younger self for coffee, what is one thing that you would say?
I would say to my younger self, charm is good, but it ain't everything. You got to do the work.
Wow.
Okay, how about
Okay.
you?
Oh goodness. I would say, that's kind of interesting. I would say just keep on going and don't let the negativity take you down.
Ooh, love that. Would
So-
you have started this earlier had you known like how fulfilling and how much of a need it was?
Yes. Yes.
How did you find out it was such a big need? Just by being in the business?
Well, because we went to the canine fundraisers in Georgia and Florida, and came back here to say, hey, we're spending all our money in Georgia and Florida. how can we spend it here in Michigan, and found out there weren't too many organizations like that. So we're like, let's start ours. Well, if we win the lottery, we'll start ours.
Mhm.
Well, no, that don't help. So, well, we have a couple thousand, let's start it anyways.
Wow.
And it's been the best thing that we've done. So, I mean,
Love it.
Okay, well,
it's been
we're
great.
going to go bowling with you.
Okay.
All right.
I
So
would
we're
love
all
that.
right. So we're all going to
Yes.
go bowling, and
Okay.
I just want to say thank you so much. I know we had a mutual connection, Amy, who connected us, and I'm
Yes.
so grateful she did, because highlighting a nonprofit for an entire month on the show is important, because it shows different aspects. And you can have the officers on and meet the canines, and it's just so amazing what you do. And
Got to be able to get dogs in here.
I know.
Would you have been able to
we do
bring
have
one?
a dog.
Well, I mean, that's what I was trying to see, if we could get, one of the canine officers,
Yeah.
they're
He can meet me in the alley. We'll do it that way.
That's
Yeah.
right. We're on remote.
On remote.
'Cause
We'll
we-
be on remote with the canine. But when are you back from Vegas?
I come back on Friday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll see you next Monday.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect.
So,
And all of these items that you've shown us, people can donate online
yes.
on the website. We can donate. Anyone here can donate. Feel free, Paul. I'm calling people out by name.
Yeah.
I mean, you
and-
can see all the pictures, all the activities we've done, any type of events that we have coming up,
Mhm.
planning. And we've been busy. We've been nonstop. Anytime we go and do donations, we just did a big one for Oakland County. And did pictures with all the dogs. So it's been well worth it. So to see all them. So
Well, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
safe trip to Vegas.
thank you.
And you, Mr. Terry Bean, thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us, and
Pleasure.
for being here. And, thank you for all of you to come here and our new location. And I do want to say again that things change, right?
They're gonna.
Relationships change, things change, jobs change, careers, nonprofits, it all changes, right? And I guess it's how we handle it. And there have been so many people in my life that I'm so grateful for that have made this possible. When I left WWJ, I had no idea really what was in store. But I am so grateful for all the support and all the people that have come along on this journey with me. My mom, of course, thanks. Liz, Aaron, Barbie, of course, Jake started out as a sponsor. Now he's a friend. I love Row House, by the way. I will be there Wednesday for the signature only class with women. But it's just been an amazing, amazing venture. And we're so grateful to be here at this new studio with Dean and Nick, social media guy. Hey, Nick, thank you. And of course, a big thank you always to Jason Waldron from Time Warp Vintage, who has been a big part of the show. So thank you. And just thank you to everyone for being here today. And we'll see you next week. In the meantime, keep the coffee hot. Thank you. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.